Testing.
Mekayimon be'emes. Said without the midas, without ava v'yira, then mitzvahs don't have a kiyum amiti. That means a person is doing it at tutas nishmitanemes. It's not coming from him. It's not him inside. It's his chitzenis. His hands are doing it. When is he mekayim be'emes? When is he truly doing the mitzvah? If the mitzvah is the outcome, it's an expression of what he feels. Ki ha-mekaymon be'emes, who's be'emes mekayim mitzvahs? When is someone truly doing the mitzvah? Hu ha'eyev es-shem havaya. Is when the mitzvah is an outcome of the fact that he's oyev es-shem havaya. He loves the Eibishter. V'chafetz l'davka bei be'emes. What's the pshat? You love the Eibishter. It says that Ava, the sheirish of Ava is miloshen Ava. Like it says, Le'ava havaya lekecha l'shmoya es bilam. You want. What's the pshat when you speak about Ava v'yira? Ava is that's what you're drawn towards. That's what you want. You're looking for lekus. V'chafetz l'davka bei be'emes. You want to be truly attached to lekus. And therefore, as a result of that ava, of that feeling, therefore you do the mitzvahs, because v'iyaf shel dafka bei be'emes, kiyim b'kiyim ramach pikudin. The etzem fact that someone loves a lekos, that someone's feelings, his excitement is for Eibishter, for lekos, that's already a connection with the lekos. Someone who loves Gashmis is connected with Gashmis, connected with Elam Haza. It says in the pasuk, Nefesh Rasha Ifsara. The fact that someone desires bad, that already makes him a certain degree a Rasha. Someone who desires Elikus, that's already, he's a Chassid Shid, he wants Elikus. But he's not truly attached with Elikus. It's not L'davka bei be'emes. Because Nivra and Beirei are Be'ein Arech. My feelings for the Eibishter doesn't give me a connection with the Eibishter. That could only be an impetus. That could only be a push. That because I want to be truly attached to the Eibishter, what could be truly an attachment? What could fulfill that? Is mitzvahs. Why? Because mitzvahs are the Ivarim de Malka. They are the Ratzin of the Eibishter. When I do a mitzvah, that's a Lekus Mamish. That's the Eibishter himself. And therefore, it's not just my feeling, which is not the Eibishter, because Leis Machshava Tfisa Beiklau. That's if through the feeling I'm doing a mitzvah, then I'm actually connecting. So Ava is melubish in mitzvahs. V'hayira hi sheirish l'shasa leisasei. And Yira is the sheirish, from Yira comes the shasa leisasei. What fuels, what causes a person to hold back from doing an Aveira? He's afraid of rebelling against the Eibishter. That's the lower level of Yira that Alter Rebbe speaks about over here. The lowest level of Yira, we said last time, is Yira Sa'enesh. I'm afraid of getting Einish. That's not B'chlal part of the equation over here. Yira Sa'enesh, if someone doesn't do an Aveira because he's afraid of getting punished, it has nothing to do, it's not a connection with the Eibishter at all. It's a connection with myself. Ha'evet Knaini, we learn about, right, with the different, Ha'evet Knaini withholds from going against the Eibishter because his Yira Sa'kas Ha'shevet. But that's nothing to do with the Eibishter, it's about himself. That doesn't show on even the lowest level. Yarei limreid b'malach malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If I'm afraid of the Aveira because I know I'm rebelling against the Eibishter, that's already a connection of the Eibishter. That's a level of Yira. And when that's what causes me, I realize it's an Aveira and I pull back because Yarei limreid, then that Yira is melubish in that abstaining from the Shasa Leisasi. A Yira pnimis mizu, or a higher level of Yira, shemizbeishesh migdulasei. He's embarrassed from the greatness of the Eibishter. Yarei Beishas, And because of this embarrassment, he's embarrassed. Lamris eine kvoidei velase sarab einav. He's embarrassed to go against the Eibishter and do something that's bad, which is called teava savaya shesane, which is Averis, we'll say in a minute. We spoke in Perek Gimel. The Alter Rebbe spoke about the highest level of Yira is Yira Savaya, Yira Saremus Liro Lisbeishish Migdulas Yisbarach Shem Sefer Tachlis. But that Yira Beishas is not exactly the same as what it says over here. In Yira Beish, there's Yare Limrid B'Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't want to rebel against the Eibishter. So even, what's the difference between Yira Sa'inish, practically, Yira Sa'inish, and Yare Limrid Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu? That Yare Limrid applies even in a case where I'm not going to get Ainish. I'm pater from Ainish. Nothing bad is going to happen to me, but is this something that I'm making the Eibishter happy, or I'm rebelling against the Eibishter? I understand the greatness of the Eibishter. I'm afraid it's upgefragt by me. Anything that I know is a merida against the Eibishter. Higher than that is Yirei Beishas. Yirei Beishas could extend even to something that, mitzad Yarei Limreid, I don't feel it as a einish. I don't feel it, as a merida, but it's still, I'm embarrassed. When you're standing in front of Chassidus, it says, Tzadik Gadol v'Kadosh, or it's Tzadik v'Chasid, so then you behave differently because you're embarrassed. Certain things sepasnished. The Rebbe is looking at you. I didn't feel like I was doing something wrong before, but I'm embarrassed. I bring myself to a higher standard. The Yari Beishas Misbeishish Migdulase. But the Misbeishish Migdulase could be in two ways. The Misbeishish Migdulase that he seemed to speak about in Perek Gimel is when you're standing in the presence of the greatness. If I recognize the greatness of the Eibishter, like someone who's standing in the presence of a big tzaddik, you're batal b'metzius. That's the highest level of Yirei Ilah, Yirei Beishas. It's I'm batal b'metzius. Like the exact story I told you last time, with the father of the Teras Chesed. Wasn't embarrassed of something. He was embarrassed, Eis Metzius, he fell off the scaffold. But then there's Yirei Beishas, I'm embarrassed even to do the most dakastik inyan. How could I do that? I'm embarrassed of myself because I'm standing in front of the Eibishter. There was a Rosh Hashiva in Chaim, Berlin. The Rosh Hashiva and the founder, his name was Rabbi Wagner, who had, a very unique relationship with the Rebbe. The Rebbe used to learn with him Chassidus before the Nesius. And he wrote very interesting letters to the Rebbe, and letters from the Rebbe to him about different things. Some of that were in his gala more recently. So he was one of the ones that came to the Rebbe in Tafshin Chaf Hei after the Histalkos of the Rebbe Tzimchana. So he came to Menachem Avo, Erev Yom Kippur. So I have to check it up. I forget exactly, but what does it say over there? The Rebbe asked him a question. I think the Rebbe asked him what the Rebbe asked everyone about mikveh in the afternoon. That's what the Rebbe spoke. So in the Rishima of the different people who came in, it says what this one answered, what this one answered. So Rafutni says he came and the Rebbe asked him, and mireiv eim of apachad omar ein eimer vein dvarim. That's what it says in the Rishima. Something like that. He said he was afraid. He said ein eimer vein dvarim. And he was Bechlal, a person. He had a lot to say. He was a big writer, and he was a big speaker, and a big Baal Machshava. And he was big into Kavod HaTorah. He used to have a buzzer. He had a buzzer in his room that was connected to the lock. When Bachram would come into him to speak to him, if they forgot to walk out backwards, so then he didn't buzz open the door. They couldn't get out. They had to come back and walk out backwards. He made sure he was being mechanech them in Kavod HaTorah. And that's what it says, Tak, in the same Rishim, if I remember correctly. It says, Yotzav, upanav klapei kfita. He walked out backwards, and he had what to say. He felt that he has, but he was mizbeishish, because ein neim revein devarim. There's a busha that you're nizbatel b'mtziyusei, because I feel the greatness of the Eibishter. And there's a busha that he speaks about over here. Here we're talking about a yira, sof kol sof, that's not making me eis mitziyas, but a yira that's fueling my kiyum shasal leisasei. So the Yira Beishas even is a Beishas that, how could I do such a thing? I'm embarrassed to do it. Not because I feel the evil in it. It's obviously going to keep me back even from a more dakos tikira, right? Clear. What is the Rabbi Einav Kol Teavas Avaya Shesane Heima Klipis V'Sitra Achra? I'm embarrassed to be involved with anything that the Eibishter hates, which is Klipis V'Sitra Achra Asher Yinikasa Mea Adam Atachtim. That Klipis V'Sitra Achra the Eibishter hates. Where do they get their chayets from? From me. V'Achizasam Behu B'Shasal Leisasei. So therefore, my Yari Beishas makes that so mufrach by me, so upgefragt, anything that could give chayets to what the Eibishter hates. Now we know, everyone knows very clearly, Perek Mem Aleph, that Yira is the sheresh to everything, right? Sai leisasei and sai te'asei. And besides that, Ava is l'cheira sheresh also to mitzvahs leisasei. If I love the Eibishter, I'm not going to do something that he doesn't want. Here we say that Yira is to leisasei and Ava is to esei. Because here we're talking about the way the mitzvahs, the Taryag mitzvahs, are levushim for the neshama. Ava and Yira are both a sibba, they're a cause, sai for mitzvahs asay, sai for mitzvahs leisasay. You see this in one of the Shuva Yisrael Mamar. It says there's sur meira, asay tev, and bakesh shalom. What's the taich sur meira? The Chetzenis, the Taich, Sur Meira, you don't do Averis. So it says, Sur Meira is I don't do Averis, and I do all the mitzvahs. Because if I'm sitting and not doing a mitzvah that I'm supposed to do, that's Tachra. Sur Meira is all the essays and all the lace essays. What's Hasei Tev? Hasei Tev is I could be doing everything and not doing anything and not be working on it, not Asiya or Kviya. Hasei Tev is to go L'mayla Mirgilusay, to force myself. And then there's Baki Shalom, learning Torah. So, Ava and Yira both could bring to essay and lace essay. But here we're talking about levushim. Levushim is that the way not only the midas are causing me to do or not do, all the things I'm supposed to do or not do, but that the midas are melubish in them, like a levush. And that's why the levush is perfect masim to the thing that's melubish. That's the whole concept of levushim that we're learning about. Ava is meluvish in the mitzvah. It's not just a sibba. When I'm doing the mitzvah as an expression of the fact that I love the Eibishter, this is the way I'm fulfilling, quenching my thirst to be davuk the Eibishter, then the mitzvah is actually within that action. It's within the mitzvah saseh. The Ava is not melubish in a mitzvah leisaseh. The Ava is the reason for the mitzvah leisaseh. Because I love the Eibishter, I pull back from an Avera. But that's not a levush. And the same thing and the opposite with the mitzvah leisaseh. The Ava could be a reason for a mitzvah leisaseh. The Yira is meluvish. I'm afraid of the Eibishter. It's agifrak. That's fueling my pulling back from the Avera. Right? That's what the Alter Rebbe says. So usually now the Alter Rebbe takes us another big step. Usually a levush is something that's a tool for the person. That's what he said. I have levush in my clothing. I'm here. I can't walk outside without clothing. I can't show myself to people without clothing. Some people in certain positions need uniforms to show, display, illustrate exactly what they are and what they represent. So the clothing serves a purpose to me to be megala, some aspect of myself to others. There's me, I'm higher than the clothing, and I relate to other people through the clothing. Like it says, Rabbi Yechanan kare lemane mechabdusei. Rabbi Yechanan called his clothing what gives him covet. The levushim beautifies the person. It's megala, it brings out but it's lower than the person. It's a tool, like every tool that enables me to express certain aspects of myself. I'm using the tool. With Torah mitzvahs, it's different. It's not that the levush is lower than the neshama. The nefesh alakis, as high as it is, nefesh alakis is going even higher and connecting with the Eibishter himself, like we said, l'davka be'emes, to have a true dveikus and attachment to the Eibishter. The l'davka be'emes is because it gets a levush that's higher than it. The Torah mitzvahs, the Taryag, Machshava, Dibur, Mais, and Taryag mitzvahs, Torah that we're learning about is Alikus Mamish that enables the neshama to get a higher level than it is mitzad asma to be attached to the Eibush himself. That's what the Rebbe is going to explain us now. Vinei shleisha levushim eilu me'at Torah mitzvisa. These levushim of the nefesh alakis, which is Machshava, Dibur, Mais, and Taryag mitzvah Torah, av shenikraim levushim lenefesh ruach neshama. Even though they're called levushim, so it sounds like I'm using it, I'm doing it, the way I express myself. If I don't think, if my neshama doesn't think, it's not achas. The neshama is not missing anything. It's not being megala, the koyach haseichel. But the neshama is higher, it's by itself. But if the nefesh alakis doesn't think about Torah, then it's missing something. The machshava of Torah, the dibur, the ma'isa mitzvahs brings it higher. And therefore, Gova v'godla malasam la'in kates v'seiv, the ma'ila of these levushim of machshava, dibur, ma'isa of Targum Torah is much, much higher. Al ma'ilas nefesh, ruach, and neshama atzman. As much as we spoke in Tanya now, and we lifted up the neshama, right? We learned and appreciated how high the neshama is, chiluk, elikami, ma'al, mamish, and everything we explained in Perek Daled to show how high. There's Gova v'godla malasam, the machshava, dibur, ma'isa is infinitely greater than that. Like it says in Zayar that the Torah is one with the Eibush. So these machshava dibur maisas, when we take advantage and use these levushim, it's bringing the nefesh that's chelik elakami mal mamish to a much higher dveikus in the Eibush.